The books of 1st and 2nd Samuel, two modern books of the Bible. As Link. It was, it was written to cover both stories. After the rescue from slavery of Israel, made a covenant of Mount Sinai into the promised land, where Israel was to be faithful to God and His covenant and His commands. For the book of Samuel, Judges showed how Israel failed that task, big time. More chaos and need for wise, faithful leaders. In the book of Samuel, to answer that need, it focused on three main characters: the prophet Samuel, then King Saul, and then King David. And the translation, a group of tribes and a unified kingdom ruled by King David in Jerusalem. The book of Samuel is really fascinating. There's three characters together and four main parts. Samuel is the first key leader of the book. And the key role, the section, in Saul's story, two movements: Saul rise to power and his failures. The second part, his downfall and his tragic death. A small device by David's rise to power. And he's told in two movements: the wave of success and the tragic failure, and so the social destruction to family and his kingdom. This book concludes its Bumanglag and story. Let's dive in and see how this unfolds. Part 1, the chaos, the book of Judges. Touching story, Hannah. And they grieved, never have children. By God's grace, she finally has a son, by God's grace. And joy, she sings up in chapter 2. God opposes the proud, exalts the humble. And despite human evil, God is working out the purpose in history. And so God will raise up an anointing king for His people. It's the beginning of the book and the key themes of the whole story, like the next one. Samuel grows up a great prophet and a leader. And at the same time, the Philistines rise to power of Israel, their arch nemesis. This crucial battle, the Israelites get arrogant. Rather than praying and asking for God for help, they trot out the covenant, magic trophy, that ultimate glad on victory in battle. Because of the arrogance, presumption, Israel makes them lose their battle, and the ark is stolen. They take the ark and play in the place of their God, Dagon, the God of Israel, and Dagon, without an army, was sending up plagues on the people. And the Philistines don't want the ark anymore. They send it back to Israel. The point of the story is, since God is not Israel's trophy, and God opposes the prides of the Philistines and of His own people, Israel must remain humble and obedient to our covenant with God's blessings. The large section, the Israelites, come to Samuel. We want like a king of the other nations. Go find one for us. For Samuel is kicked off and goes consult with God. Yes, their own motives are wrong, but the king, if they don't give them one, introduced to a figure, Saul. Saul's a tragic figure. He's full of promises. He's good looking, perfect candidate, but he's deep character flaws. He's dishonest. He lacks integrity, and he's incapable. He's cannot his own mistakes and his flaws because of his own downfall. He wins some battles at the beginning. He's run so deep, disqualifies himself, disobeying God's commands. The aging Samuels and consults Saul, and he has more the people. They're only humble to a king that's humble, or they'll bring ruin, or the kids will bring ruin. And Saul's gonna raise up a new kingdom to replace them, and Saul's downfall begins. God's working behind the scenes, working up a new king, significant shepherd boy, David. He's the least likely candidate to be king, but the famous story that got David and Goliath, God chose David, not based on family status, but his radical, humble trust the God of Israel. The story embodies any a poem, proud Saul, Goliath, brought low, humble David, exalted. So you see Saul delicate into madness, while David rises to power. As Saul, well, David's working for Saul as a general, and Saul gets jealous, and because David winning so much battles, and Saul's trying to hunting him, kind of hunting David. David has done nothing wrong. And he waits in the wilderness, and you see David's true character. He has multiple opportunities to kill Saul, but he doesn't. He trusts, despite Saul's evil, God will raise up a king for his people. Interesting is too, in the poems of David, the book of Psalms, the book of link the period of his life, they'll express his attitude of trust. Second, Saul going to grisly death after losing the battle at the Philistines. Quite a story known in the Bible, the character of Saul is portrayed really realistic. Character studies, so you can find yourself. In Saul's story, we see a woman, a warning, a reflection of his flaws. We need to humble ourselves and deal with our own dark side, so Saul's story doesn't become ours. And David, on the other hand, is an example of a character of trust in God's timing in his life. He's running in the wilderness, being chased by Saul. That's why he's thinking he's abandoned him. That's not what he thinks. But David's story encourages us, despite human evil, God's working out his purpose with the proud and Saul the humble. And that's what 1 Samuel is all about.